Alright, another day working on the bus, which is awesome. All the foam dried out, which worked out marvelously well. So this actually worked out really well. So I went through already and cut all the excess off so we can get our wall boards to be able to go right up against it, which is awesome. As you can see, hard at work. Over here, of course, worked well for everywhere that I had covered, but there were a couple of spots up on the top here on those 3 windows that I did not get to because I ran out of foam. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray. I got some more foam at the store today. Gonna spray that with foam and then go and clean up all around the floor yesterday where I got done, and then I can actually start cutting foam or cutting insulation to fill up all the holes. So all the holes today will get filled with insulation, at least for the walls. I still got the front to do, that area, and then the back in those 2 sections. But the goal is to get all the holes completely filled on the walls so that I can start cutting on this specific board and a bunch more like it, so we can actually start putting walls up today. The walls, I still need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do as far as finishing them off. Right here to this exact point is 8 foot from that door frame, which is awesome because I'm going to put an 8-foot board down here. That's going to be this wall, and then from this point back is going to be completely wood, where we're going to put all of our bunks. So what I think I might end up doing is cutting this one in preparation for putting it back here. I got to do a bunch of cutting on the next one that goes down here, specifically because it's going to come up too high and we're going to have it come down here, but I want some of it to come up the edge, or this rib up here, and then we'll make the rest of the rib come up. So there will be a seam, I think, in the middle of it, but I think we might end up painting it. I'm not 100% sure on the color because there's a bunch of blue and kind of black and gray in the floor. Might have some sort of that. I really want the, you know, what everybody looks at to be the ceiling more than anything else. So I don't really care what the walls look like. Plus, you're going to be looking through the windows out at everything else that's out there. So, but by far, for sure, this is the most insulated this bus has ever been, even in its current state, because now the Max Air fan, you can actually feel air coming through the windows up front. I had to crack the driver's side and passenger window so you can actually get air moving through here, because the holes under the bus are all pretty much filled up except for 2 spots up front, which we're leaving open for now because probably have some cables and stuff that'll still go through there. So what we're working on now is I'm going to go through and continue to keep cutting the insulation out. I'm going to finish spray foaming these, which actually are not going to take a whole lot, which is really nice. We'll let that dry, and then what I need to do is try to get some super glue down here where there still can see some daylight. So that's what we're doing. So I don't know if I'm going to put this in with a regular bus video or if this will be kind of on its own thing, but do you ever get to the point where you're just so worried or nervous about making something work that you just freeze up? I think there's a lot of times, especially for me, and maybe this is just my own problems, but I'm just so worried about doing things right and not messing up that it makes me freeze up. And right now that's kind of where the bus project had been for me. I absolutely love working on the bus. It was really easy when I was tearing things down and I was trying to figure things out. And now we're to the point where it's time to build it back to the way that I envisioned and dreamed it would be when we bought it. And for whatever reason, it just got me nervous that I'm gonna totally screw the whole thing up. And it's really not even that big of a deal. I know in my head what needs to happen. I know what needs to be done. It's really not that hard. It's no harder than what the ceiling is, but maybe it's just fear that, you know, maybe the ceiling didn't turn out as perfectly as I wanted it to, or the floors didn't turn out as perfectly as I wanted it to, and now the walls are just the next thing, and it just got me kind of frozen. And I think there can be some things that are healthy from that. It means, you know, it's good to be retrospective and always constantly looking at what we're doing and whether or not it's being helpful for who we're trying to become. But at the same time too, life doesn't have really a pause button. There's never an opportunity in life where you can just completely check out, have no responsibilities for anything, and not worry about what happens next. And I guess worry maybe is not really the right term for that. Maybe it's just you don't care what happens next. And I'm super excited to get this bus done. I know that perfection is not going to happen. And I think maybe that's what this whole video is about, is the fact that what I think would be perfect in my head, what would be absolutely amazing to happen, is something that's probably going to be unobtainable for my skill and ability to be able to do. But the purpose wasn't to make the perfect bus. The purpose of this bus was to allow me the ability to be able to go out and to see people and to play shows that I otherwise would have to say no to, or I'd have to be gone too long from my family in order to be able to make happen. Or I'd have to spend so much money just being able to get out there that I'd have to charge a lot more for shows in order to be able to just make one show happen. What this bus allows me to do is to be able to make more shows happen on a more consistent basis, where I have the option to be able to take my family with me, or if I don't take my family with me, and be able to stay on the road long enough to be able to get where I need to go to do a run of shows and not have to spend an arm and a leg on hotel rooms or motels, but always have a space that allows me to be able to be prepared and ready and refreshed to be able to go and serve other people. So with that said, I still feel nervous about screwing it all up. But it's okay, because we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done in a way that I'm happy with it because it serves its purpose, and then you'll be happy with it because it's going to serve its purpose as well. Because the goal is not to make something perfect. The goal is to use things for what they were created for. And you were created on purpose, with a purpose. Something I've told people a lot, and I truly do believe. And I'm excited to be able to use my purpose to serve you and to help you find yours. So with that said, we're going to start being willing to screw things up for the purpose of getting things done so that we can fulfill the greater purpose, which is serving you. So thanks for watching my rant. Sorry it was kind of crazy. I just felt like I needed to share with you. Hopefully you guys, if you feel the same way, I feel you. There are times in life where it's just, you want to get it right. And I get it. And the best thing to do sometimes if you want to get it right is keep trying. That's how we all get better. See you guys soon. and a big sigh of relief. I was really nervous I was going to do that and totally jack the entire thing up. But everything looks like it's lining up perfectly, so I just got to cut the little notches to be able to get the emergency exit hatch stuff done. And then after that's done, what we're going to do is we'll probably know that, okay, this panel is good to go. So I'll put this in the barn, we'll sand everything down, we'll paint it of some sort or shellac it. We're still, Abby and I are trying to decide what we're trying to do with that, and she's mostly trying to decide because I want it to look good. So, and she knows what looks good better than I do. Yeah, and then I gotta put the insulation underneath that side, and then after this is actually painted and done, cut those 2 little notches. This piece can go in, and that'll be the first wall piece that's up. Then we'll measure out the one for the back half and be able to get where the notches and everything need to go for over the wheel well. And quite honestly, like those are the real big gotchas. At least on the floor level, this back piece or whatever will be pretty easy to shove in once I measure where it's going to line up. We'll do that vertical piece, but I probably won't cut that. Well, I can probably cut that one, but then we gotta get the side piece here, and then I can start putting the bunk in. So pretty cool. But I got a meeting that I'm already late to, so I'm gonna put this piece away, back in, lock this up real quick, go do that, eat some dinner probably, and then probably jump back out here. All right, so I've never used this multi-tool yet, and I was told that it's a lifesaver for doing cuts like this. So I'm gonna try to see if we can get this cut and hopefully make it better and not worse. This panel and that panel cut out. Woof, it has been a day. But good news is we got 2 panels cut. So we got this front one by the windows, and then we got the back one for the bunk room. They're not screwed in yet. I think what we're gonna do, I wanted to make sure that they were gonna fit where they needed to go. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull them out later and sand them and finish them. And then once they're finished, we'll pop them back in. And that way we don't have to worry about getting the flooring all messed up or whatever. So this side is well on the way. Still got a lot to do on that side. But the good news about this side is the fact that the emergency exit handles that are so weird on that one are not the same on this one. They're actually on the inside. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, even the obviously they changed the emergency exit hatch or window at some point in time, because the emergency exit lettering on that one is all capital letters, and that one, the E and the E's are capitalized and everything else is lowercase, and the tinting is different. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really care. I already cut the little holes for that one for the latches that come out. Those over there swing in. So we'll probably do for that side is I'll measure from the furthest point this way going over, and yeah, we'll do that, because then I'll have to actually create a curve piece for that whole thing. So we'll start from the furthest point that way and work over back towards the back, and then we should be able to get within the next day, I believe, probably at least the lower half down. Cat just jumped off on the roof again. Crazy animal. So cool part about that is the lower half will be done, which means that all the insulation stuff will be done. The only other random thing that I have is I gotta figure out a way to make this tube for the air conditioning unit go outside, and I don't really want it to be like super intrusive. I don't want to put a 5-inch hole in the floor for sure, but I thought about venting it down in the holes where I didn't fill them up with expanding foam yet, and I think that's still the plan, which means it would stay up here as opposed to going back there. But I don't know, I keep going back and forth with where I want it, because it's not that it's a huge unit, but it's big enough. And this thing, this big old tube or whatever, even if it's bent at 90 degrees, just takes up like 12 inches practically. That's at least a foot. So we're still figuring, but I'm pretty excited that we started cutting wood. I don't know why, I just got like super nervous about trying to actually like start cutting things, like I was gonna totally screw it up. But and in fact, now that I'm looking at it too, I'm not 100% sure. I have the, well, I have this set up where I think I want I think I have it set up where I want like this being the lowest part of the windows. Granted, I didn't put any curves on them at all, and I'm not sure if I'm going to square off the top or not. If I square off the top, it's going to be easy because it's just a 90 degree. But then do I bring the top down further, because then it's going to make a smaller window? Do I leave it up all the way? They're going to have curtains on them anyway. But I know even on the way the bus was before, there was a curve down here and a curve up there. But what they did was they still had it covering about 2 inches across the bottom. So that may be end up, I don't know, it's preliminary. At least everything fits where it's supposed to. If I decide to cut more, I can totally cut more. But you can't add wood back where you took it away, at least to not make it look good. So thanks so much for watching. It was a pretty crazy day. Appreciate you guys sticking in there with me. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks.